I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Yuta Saros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, that's when you can click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know, love, and expect from the Renegades of Puck, like socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, all still available on our online store. About 85 different gimmicks with our logo on it. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so listen up, Renegades. Here's how you can help us out. You can find us on X, on Threads, on TikTok, on Facebook, and also on Instagram. So please, give us a like, give us a follow on any and all of those different social media platforms. YouTube, stick taps, love, and respect for those new subscribers. Thank you so much. We are still looking to bolster those numbers, so please continue the effort there. Working on that. Every episode of Renegades of Puck TV is posted on YouTube, and we sure do appreciate everyone checking it out there. We put a lot of work into the studio, the bunker, and putting those episodes together. So, again, we really appreciate that. The audio podcast off to a great start in November. And again, stick taps, love, and respect everybody at the Full Press Coverage Network, Full Press NHL. They do an incredible job behind the scenes of taking our show from local to global, and we sure are appreciative of all of that support. So please continue checking the show out in audio form on your favorite and preferred podcast platforms today. Google, Spotify, Stitcher, just a couple to mention that we are on. Venmo is how you can support the Renegades of Puck financially. You can make a donation by scanning the QR code that's currently on your screen, or you can just search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. A lot of late nights with the Nashville Predators being on the CMA road trip, so if you can buy us a cup of coffee, sure would be appreciated. Recording these shows at 3, 4, even 5 in the morning to make sure that we are the most up-to-date on our content. It's not the easiest thing in the world, so if you can spare $1, please make a donation to your Renegades of Puck today. Scan the QR code currently on your screen now. Wow. It's cold out here, and I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 814. That's right, time for show number 814. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 10 games skated. That's right, we've already played 10 games on the season. The Preds have a record of 4-6. 8 points has them 7 points behind the first place Dallas Stars. Let's run down the division from the top down. The Dallas Stars, I just mentioned, in first place with a record of 7-1-1. 15 points has them 1 point ahead of the second place Colorado Avalanche. They played the same number of games. The Winnipeg Jets are in third place with 10 points. The Arizona Coyotes have played 9 games. They have 9 points. The Preds find themselves in 5th place with 8 points, tied with Minnesota in 6th with 8 points. The St. Louis Blues are in 7th with 7. The Chicago Blackhawks are in 8th and last in the Central Division with only 6 points on the season. Now for the Nashville Predators, I've already mentioned they're on that CMA road trip. They are right in the middle of it. It is the hinge game, game 3 out of 5 on the CMA road trip, and the Preds on the road so far this season, it's not looking so good in the early part of the year. 1-4 on the road. They've given up 27 goals against. They've scored 27 goals for on the season overall, and they've given up 30 goals against overall on the season. This next game is taking place in Edmonton. Once the Nashville Predators wrap up game 3 of 5 in this road trip in Edmonton, they will be Tuesday in Calgary, Thursday in Winnipeg, before finally making their way back home on November the 11th versus the Arizona Coyotes, November the 14th versus the Anaheim Ducks, and November the 18th versus the Chicago Blackhawks. 3 first-time opponents on the next homestand for the Nashville Predators. Now, for the Nashville Predators and the Edmonton Oilers this season series, well, it was rather lopsided in the first game of the year when these two teams met. It was back on October the 17th. The Preds fell 6-1 at Bridgestone Arena, and honestly, the game wasn't even that close. Draisaitl, 2 goals, 2 assists. Hyman, 1 goal and 3 assists, each of those players with 4 points. McDavid chipped in with a goal and an assist. Campbell picked up the victory. Heavy workload, 43 out of 44, and he got the win. UC Saros pulled after one period, 7 out of 11. Lankin and finished the final 2 periods. He went 17 of 19. And in recent history, that's the way these two teams have ended up at the end of games. The Edmonton Oilers have been dominating the Preds in the last couple of seasons. They'll skate one more time. The third match of the season will take place on January the 27th when the Nashville Predators will make their second trip of the year into Edmonton. For the Oilers, overall, 2-6-1. So other than beating the Nashville Predators, they've only had one other victory on the season. So 2-6-1 overall is good for only 5 points. They are 6th in the Pacific Division on home ice, a record of 1-3-1. They have given up 25. They've scored 25 goals for. Second time I've gotten that backwards already. Giving up 36 goals against us, a goal differential of -11. Take a look at their most recent sample size of 5 games. Go back to the 21st of October as a 3-2 overtime loss versus Winnipeg. Follow that up on the 24th, a 7-4 loss at the Minnesota Wild. On the 26th of October, a 3-0 loss versus the New York Rangers. On the 29th, a 5-2 win versus Calgary, their second win of the season. So against Nashville and Calgary are where Edmonton has gotten their 2 victories. And on the 2nd of November, their most recent game, a 4-3 loss versus the Dallas Stars. Now, for the Nashville Predators, a couple of injuries are definitely slowing things down. One on the blue line, one on forward. Shen still on IR. Glass still also on IR. No timetable for their returns. When it comes to the NHL ranks in this matchup and the numbers, let's talk about goals for. 2.70 for the Predators is 24th in the NHL, and the Oilers are honestly not much better. 2.78 is 22nd, so 22nd versus 24th in goals for. In the goals against category, the Predators giving up 3 goals per game is 14th in the NHL, while Edmonton is giving up 4 goals per game, except for when they play the Nashville Predators. They are 30th overall in the NHL. In the shots for category, the Predators generating 31.2 shots on goal per game is 17th best in the league, while Edmonton is generating 33.2. That is 8th best overall in the NHL. Shots against category, 29 against for Nashville, 9th best in the NHL. And when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers, they're 12th best in the NHL, giving up 29.8 shots against per game. On the special teams, the Nashville Predators have had some recent success in the power play, and that has ticked their numbers up a little bit. 23.3% conversion rate is 11th best in the NHL. 10 power play goals on 43 opportunities. The Edmonton Oilers always have one of the most high-skilled individually and usually lethal power plays in the NHL, but they have dropped a little bit as of late. 21.2% is their conversion rate, 13th in the NHL. You would have never thought the Nashville Predators had a better success rate on the power play than the Edmonton Oilers, but so far that's the case. 7 of 33 is the raw data. 7 goals, 33 opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers. On the penalty kill, the Oilers have a better PK than the Preds, killing off 71.4%. They have given up 10 power play goals. Against the Nashville Predators have killed off 69.7%. That's at 29th best in the NHL. They have also given up 10 power play goals against. When it comes to each and every team in the NHL, high-skilled individuals all across the board. Let's start on the home team side of things. And Leon Draisaitl, 4 goals. That leads the Edmonton Oilers in that category. 9 assists, also leading the team in that category. And 13 points, also first on the Oilers. Bouchard, 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points. Hyman's at 3 and 6 for 9. McDavid, 2 and 7 for 9. Kane, 3 and 5 for 8. On the Nashville Predators side of the ledger, Philip Forsberg leads the Nashville Predators in scoring. Highly unusual to see only 1 goal on the board through 10 games, but 8 assists. That's also kind of unusual. Not typically a world-class distribution service, but Philip Forsberg through the first 10 games of the season, a goal, 8 assists, 9 points, leads the Nashville Predators. Tommy Novak leads the team in goals scored. He has 5, tied with Colton Sissons. 2 assists added to that is 7 points. O'Reilly's at 4 and 3 for 7. The captain Romeo 2 and 5 for 7. And Colton Sissons already mentioned 5 goals, and he now picked up his first assist of the season, so I can no longer make the joke about how Colton Sissons is an incredibly selfish hockey player. It's a pretty good joke. It was for a while. He has 6 points. He is 5th overall in the Predators in scoring. When it comes to the goaltending matchup, UC Saros, I'll go first on the Predators side. 4 and 5 is his record. 909 save percentage, 2.68 goals against average. 1 shutout on the season that came at home against the Seattle Kraken. Now, I will never understand how the Edmonton Oilers can have such bad goaltending, but Campbell is 1 and 3 on the season, and Skinner is 1-3 and 1 on the season. These save percentages are .878 and .861. The goals against are .435 and 3.62. The Edmonton Oilers have so much offense and so many players on their roster that I cannot believe they have not been able to turn something into a starting goaltender that's at least putting up capable NHL numbers. But again, I can disrespect the numbers all that I want. This Edmonton Oilers team beat the Nashville Predators in convincing fashion, 6-1, only giving up 1 goal, and that is 3 goals less than they give up per game average. So for the Nashville Predators, it's been an incredibly difficult matchup, and for the Edmonton Oilers, this is probably looking at for them like a get-right game. You know, the way the Predators used to wear out the Oilers during the Pekka Rinne administration, or perhaps when the Predators used to go up against the Avalanche a few years ago before they rose to the top of the Central Division. Sometimes teams just don't play well a certain matchup, whatever it is, and the Predators are just awful against the Edmonton Oilers, and the Oilers might be off to an awful start to the season, but I don't know how well that's going to mix. We're going to find out in a matinee show on Saturday afternoon. We'll be breaking it down. That's all I know. Speaking of breaking it down, that's got you all set up for the Predators and the Oilers. We got to go back and talk about the Preds and the Seattle Kraken meeting for the second time of the regular season. It is called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it is coming up right after this on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. You give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the entire game. Let's go all the way back to November the 1st. That's right, already November the 1st of the year 2023, when the Nashville Predators were in Seattle to face off against the Kraken. Nashville Predators head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista, Trennan, Sissons, and Foodie would make up your third line. Smith, Parsonen, and Fujimo would make up your fourth line. That means Tomasino is out of the lineup, healthy scratch. Yossi and Fabro, your first defensive pairing. McDonough and Carrier, Luzon and Barry make up your second and third defensive pairings. And UC Saros gets the start in net. We're starting with a special teams bonanza at the beginning of this game. We are 1:07 into the first period, and it's Ellie Tolvanen off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Grubauer would come up with a save on Forsberg, then would have to come up with another save on Parson, plus the rebound jam by Nyquist. Larson would pick up a 4-minute high sticking penalty on Nyquist's jam attempt. That would lead to a 5-on-3 for the Nashville Predators. Colton Sissons would then pick up a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping. This would lead to a full 2-minute 4-on-4 scenario. UC Saros come up with a save on Eberle during this exchange. That would be his first save of the game. And then the Nashville Predators would have a very brief power play, but they would capitalize just before it expired when Tommy Novak scores his 5th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead in the first period. It was the high-low give-and-go. Sissons and Evangelista were the other two of the three working that play. Tommy Novak's 5th goal of the season comes on the power play. 2 seconds left on that power play at the end of this extremely long special teams scenario. That takes us all the way to 8:24 of the first period. UC Saros is fighting off Larson's shot through traffic. This would be a common storyline throughout this game. 10:33 of the first period. Fabro's off to the box. 2 minutes for interference. It was a massive hit behind the net. It was just a quarter of a skate too late right there. Saros will come with a save on Tolvanen's one-timer, and we all know how good Ellie Tolvanen's one-timer is here in Nashville. Overall, strong PK for the Preds. 13:08 of the first period. UC Saros comes up with a save on shore. 13:50, Dante Fabro off the box. 2 minutes for slashing. This call right here, perhaps just a little bit soft, but we move on. Saros comes up with a save, and McDonough kicks the puck out of the blue paint, preventing a goal. But Bjorkstrand would score his 3rd goal of the season. It was a long shot through traffic, may have skipped off of some of the traffic on its way through. Seattle's first goal. The game ties the game up at 1 apiece in the first period. 15:38 of the first period, UC Saros comes with another save on Tolvanen. At 17:41 of the first period, it's McCann with his 6th goal of the season. It was a one-timer off of the rush after a turnover, and this was a heavy one-timer. Seattle now leads 2-1 in the first period. We go to the end of the first period. It's Nashville Predators out shooting the Seattle Kraken 12-9, but the Kraken do have a 2-1 lead. On the clean sheet of ice and 40 seconds in, and and you're going to hear this quite a bit because Grubauer is clocking in to do the work. At 40 seconds, he comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg. At 48 seconds, a save on Fabro. At 2:48, continues doing the work. Grubauer comes up with another save on Sherwood at 5:05 of the second period. Grubauer comes up with a save on Luzon. He had to dive back towards the goal line. It might have looked incredibly awkward, but it got the job done, and at the end of the day, that's all you ask from your netminder. 6:44 of the second period, Grubauer another save, this time on Luzon, close range. Jeremy Luzon putting on the offense here in the middle portions of the second period. 7:07 of the second period, UC Saros is back in the game, coming up with a save on Bjorkstrand. 9:18 of the second period, Saros comes up with a save on Larson, plus the rebound times 3, the strongest save sequence of the game for UC Saros. He utilizes all of his skill set right here, tracking, edge work, rebound control. UC Saros simply awesome. 4 saves credited on this sequence. We are 12 minutes into the second period, and it's Grubauer coming up with a save on Fabro at 12:41 of the second period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Larson. 13:07 of the second period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Dunn and then follows it up at 13:57 with another save on Bjorkstrand. At 14:53 of the second period, Borgen's off the box, 2 minutes for holding on Philip Forsberg. Nashville Preds with a great opportunity right here, but Grubauer back to work again, this time with a save on Novak at the side of the crease. If Novak could have gotten a little more elevation on this shot, he easily would have put the puck in the net, but Grubauer was there and he responds and answers. He does that again on Sissons at the top of the paint. Another great close range scoring chance for the Nashville Preds. The captain, Roman Josi, would finish off the power play again right near the end of the power play, and the Nashville Preds are on the board again, tying the game up at 2 apiece. This was a one-time bomb off of Philip Forsberg's cross zone feed. The captain, Roman Josi, off that new position that he has been occupying on the power play, and excellent goal right here, tying the game up at 2 apiece. But it is incredibly short-lived because at 16:59 of the second period, it's Dumoulin's second goal of the season. It was a long shot through traffic. UC Saros looked like he never saw that puck until it was in the net behind him. Seattle immediately reclaims that 1-goal lead, now has a 3-2 lead here in the second period. At 17:50 of the second period, Grubauer picks up a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping on Foodie, and yes, I did say the goaltender, Grubauer, and it appeared he was injured. How it all kind of unfolded was Foodie was driving hard to the net. Grubauer got a little far outside of his crease. That's why it was deemed a tripping penalty. Stuck the leg out, trying to make a save, but also was just too far from the blue paint. Gets called for the trip. It looked like he was injured, but maybe he was just annoyed, frustrated. Maybe he just wanted to skate to the bench and get a new stick. Not really sure, but he remained in the game, and he appeared to be just fine moving forward. So after that bizarre exchange for a minute there, the Nashville Preds found themselves on the power play, and Grubauer is back to work, having to bail himself out. He comes up with a save on Tommy Novak, close range. Another great scoring opportunity for the Nashville Preds. At the end of the second period, it is the Seattle Kraken leading 3-2. Nashville Preds are out shooting Seattle 25-19, and the Nashville Preds just continued pouring on offense in that second period, but were unable to crack Grubauer enough times. We flip over to the back of the sheet. We go to the clean sheet on the third period. We are 1 minute and 13 seconds into the third period. UC Saros come up with a save on Beniers off the rush at 3:28 of the third period. It's McDonough breaking up a 2-on-1 like an absolute expert and a pro. That's the type you want to clip and show the rest of the league how to do it, breaking up a 2-on-1. At 3:49 of the third period, Grubauer coming up with a save on Trennan at close range. 4:38 of the third period, UC Saros comes with a save on Wenberg. Josi had to be there and be alert to clear the rebound out of a glorious secondary scoring opportunity for Seattle. At 8:35 of the third period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Carte at 8:38 of the third period. It is done with his second goal of the season, giving Seattle a 4-2 lead in this here third period. It was a heavy shot, clean face-off win. It split the gates of 2 Nashville Predators players, possibly skipping off of Sissons on its way through. So another long shot, possibly hitting off of traffic and being difficult for UC Saros to see. Even if it wasn't deflected, the Nashville Predators certainly created their own screen here. Clean face-off win leads to a goal goal for Dunn from long range. The Seattle Kraken lead this game now 4-2 in the third period. 9:47 of the third period into McDonough off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. UC Saros comes up with a save on Dunn, taking another shot from out high. 11:56 of the third period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Yanni Gord at close range. Good save here by UC Saros. 12:18 of the third period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Ellie Tolvin. And 13:21. Grubauer back in here, coming up with a save on Fujimo at 15:44. Barry's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping, and the Nashville Predators were definitely not happy with this call. Thought it should have been an embellishment call. Saros does have to come up with the save on McCann. While the Nashville Predators are shorthanded, the Preds are able to kill it off and at least get a couple of more scoring opportunities at 19:17. Grubauer coming with the save on Barry, plus the follow-up by Parson. Really good scoring chance for the Nashville Predators right here. Grubauer coming up with a strong save in the final minute. 19:54, Grubauer comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg, and the Nashville Predators not quitting until the end here. Grubauer comes up with another save on Yossi with just 4 seconds left in the game. Your final score in Seattle is the Kraken 4, the Nashville Predators 2. The Nashville Predators do outshoot the Seattle Kraken 34-31 for the game, and the Nashville Predators put it to the Seattle Kraken at Bridgestone Arena earlier in the season with a 3-0 victory, and they go into Seattle now and fall against the Kraken. These two teams will meet one more time before the end of the season. The Seattle Kraken just shut things down there in the third period and took control of the game once they got that 2-goal lead, and they look like a very, very good and strong hockey team. And Grubauer put up an outstanding performance. UC Saros unable to match the traffic in front. Too much for him in this game. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. You gave us 10 minutes and we gave you the entire game. All the goals, all the plays, and all of the big moments in between. We'll be right back on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Full analysis and more coming up next.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros in this game was 26 out of 30, gives up 4 goals against. Heavy traffic, was just the most miserable night. It was just a mess out there in front. When he had the shutout against the Kraken in the earlier start against them this season, the Predators did a great job of clearing the lanes in front of him, clearing bodies, and keeping Seattle Kraken players away from the high danger area. In this one, 1, 2, 3 bodies, layered traffic. It was all there all night long, and UC Saros had one miserable damn night playing in net for the Nashville Predators, giving up 4 goals against. Shots that typically from that distance, if he had seen them, I believe he would normally stop them. Typically he does. So a very, very miserable night in net for UC Saros with all of the traffic. The Seattle Kraken did a better job of getting to the hard areas, and you don't just get there, you earn and fight and battle your way there, and the Kraken just outworked the Nashville Predators in the most dangerous area on the ice, right in front of the Nashville Predators netminder, UC Saros. Tommy Novak scored a goal in this game. It was his 5th of the season. That's tied for the team lead with Colton. So this has also generated 5 shots on goal, and you know what I say about Tommy Novak. All he does is make plays. Had other opportunities to make some plays, almost cashed in on a second goal in this game before. Tommy Novak, he continues 5 goals in 10 games. That's an awfully good start to the season for Tommy Novak, picking up where he left off at the end of last year. And he did all that in 17-11 total time on ice. Philip Forsberg picked up an assist. It's his 8th of the season. It leads the team. We talked about it a little bit during the intro and the preview. First of all, almost a point per game, 9 points, 10 games. We talked about it a little bit during the preview of the next game, which is that Philip Forsberg's offensive game seems to have flipped on its axis. Typically, he's goal-heavy, assist-light. We've seen that throughout his career. It's what's prevented Philip Forsberg from piling up the biggest of point seasons like a Paul Kariya, like Roman Josi has been able to do. Philip Forsberg, of course, has put up a 40-plus goal season, but of course, he didn't crack a 100-point mark, and typically someone who picks up a lot of assists and distributes the puck a lot would have in a 40-goal type year. So for Philip Forsberg, something is definitely changing. Ryan O'Reilly is the middle of that line right now, and he's been at center with Forsberg since the start of the season. Perhaps it's something going on with the chemistry with O'Reilly and with Nyquist and with Parsonen before that. But see Philip Forsberg have 8 assists and 9 total points after 10 games. It's impressive. The distribution service of Philip Forsberg might have to start getting more recognition. And that pass that he made to Roman Josi against the Seattle Kraken was incredible. Great setup on the power play. Wanted to make some notations on Cole Smith. Thought that he was noticeable. Love when players are noticeable out there on the ice, especially when they're considered role players or considered bottom 6 forwards or whatever it is. 4th line player for this game, 4 hits in this game, led the Nashville Predators, 3:42 shorthanded time on ice, and it was just a hard-working game for Cole Smith. I know that he gets bagged on from time to time, but this was an overall no half-step in effort that he was putting on throughout the rink tonight, and it's not like he had a whole lot of time to do with only 11:49 in total time on ice, but he really was, I felt, skating incredibly hard. You got to give the captain, Roman Josi, some credit. He picked up a goal in this game, also led the team in 27-33 in time on ice, and he was everywhere. He was shooting the puck. He was passing the puck. He was leading the rush. He was down around the goal line trying to generate jam opportunities. The captain, Roman Josi, certainly was trying to get his team back in this game. A tough matchup tonight for the Nashville Predators. Seattle Kraken, a very good team, good on home ice, and the captain, Roman Josi, I thought he looked good. It's just, he can't do it all by himself, and the Predators were just the slightest bit behind on getting to secondary scoring opportunities, getting to rebounds. There was probably a half dozen plays where the puck came off of the end wall or deflected off traffic, and the Predators just could not get to those pucks. But the captain, Roman Josi, I felt that he looked very good. Wanted to make this notation as well. The power play, 2 of 5. Outstanding. The power play now up to 11th best in the NHL. They converted 10 times on 43 opportunities. That is truly outstanding. The captain, Roman Josi, picks up a goal. Tommy Novak picks up a goal in the power play. But where were the 5-on-5 goals in this game? The Predators have played pretty good hockey at 5-on-5 throughout this season. They played tremendous hockey 5-on-5 against the Seattle Kraken, the previous matchup of the season. The Seattle Kraken won the battles out there on the rink in 5-on-5. Their compete level, their battle level, however you want to describe it, their will to get to those pucks. It was just more than the Nashville Predators in this game. So no 5-on-5 goals, but it's one of those good bad things. I want to give them credit for the power play goals, but the no 5-on-5 scoring for the Preds is not going to get it done on, frankly, any night. You can't just win with your special teams. You can lose with them, though. Let's take a break right here and hear from Stripe Digital Solutions. And then we've got the cold, hard numbers coming up in the box score. And Dick Hockey, what the hell is that? I'll fill you in on it right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business. And that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Welcome back into the Renegades of Puck podcast, coming to you from a very cold bunker. It's time for those cold, hard numbers. It's time for the box score. Brian Basson will be back in the trenches here soon with the Renegades of Puck, running the Renegade Analytics desk. Talked to Brian earlier this evening. He's doing good. He'll be back with the show soon. Your goal scorers for the Nashville Predators, Tommy Novak and the captain, Roman Josi. When it comes to assists, Luke Evangelista picked up an assist in this game. Philip Forsberg also picks up an assist. Colton Sissons picks up his first assists of the season. Tyson Barry also picks up another assist on the season. When it comes to shots on goal, we had 2 with 5. It was Philip Forsberg and Tommy Novak, each with 5 shots on goal. Captain Romeo had 4. Tyson Barrie had 3. And Parsonen also had 3 shots on goal. Good opportunity to mention Parsonen. Thought he really stepped up his game and was more noticeable than he had been in some recent performances. Tough to do with the amount of ice time that he was getting in this game and where he started out in this game, but I thought that he played pretty good and was more noticeable than he had been in recent performances. When it comes to the block shots category, let's go straight down to Carrier and Fabro, who are just absolutely piling up block shots on the season. Alex Carrier had 5 in this game. Dante Fabro had 4. Ryan McDonough had 3. Other defenders, Luzon and Barry, had 2. So the Nashville Predators defense piling up some blocked shots in this game. Not a whole lot from the forwards in that particular department. When it comes to hits, it was Cole Smith. Already mentioned this once before, deserves mentioning again. 4 hits in this game to go with his 1 takeaway and his 11:49 of total time on ice. Also had 1 blocked shot. So Cole Smith leads the team with 4 hits. Jeremy Luzon is second on the team with 3 hits. He had the biggest hit of the game. There is no doubt about that. The Seattle Kraken and the Seattle Kraken bench were very, very displeased about that hit. When it comes to your time on ice, leader Ryan O'Reilly, 2017, leads the forwards. Philip Forsberg at 18:56. And I just wanted to notate again that Cole Smith only had 11:49 total time on ice and made it look good out there. Parsonen ends up 17:04 and does some good hard-working hockey out there. When it comes to the defenders, time on ice leaders, of course, the Captain Romeo, 27:33. He's customarily going to be your team leader in time on ice. And Tyson Barrie, 20:11 in total time on ice. Power play, 2 goals for the Nashville Predators, 4:12 for Novak on the power play, 3:27 for Evangelista, 3:29 for Sissons on the power play, 6:04 for the Captain Romagnosi, and 3:35 time on ice on the power play for Tyson Barrie. When it comes to shorthanded on the PK, it was Cole Smith, 3:42, Colton Sissons, 3:29, Ryan O'Reilly, 3:43. And on the defensive side of things, shorthanded time on ice, Luzon at 4:01, Carrier at 3:25. In net, UC Stars, a very tough night. This is not the typical stat line you're going to see from UC Stars. 26 out of 34 goals against, 24 even strength saves, 2 power play saves, no shorthanded saves in this game. And that's going to do it for the box score. The Nashville Predators fall to the Seattle Kraken 4-2, and the CMA road trip, well, it continues on. We'll be back to close this broadcast out up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Welcome back in, Renegades of Puck podcast. Before we head out the door and get out of this freezing cold bunker on an early Friday morning, I want to talk to you about Dick's Hockey, driven by 4 Loco. And you probably asking, what the hell are you talking about? You know how these things go. You know how hockey is and how superstition goes. And last week, as the Renegades of Puck were on a lengthy losing streak, the last game of the regular season, going into the game against the Puck Buddies, a team that we had never beaten before, suddenly Chris Brady starts talking about the animal, the Dick. You can look it up for yourself. It's real. I didn't believe it myself, and I truly didn't believe we would be talking about the Dick or Dick's Hockey moving forward. But the Renegades of Puck came up with a huge victory over the Puck Buddies, and something seemed to click, and we got our groove back, and suddenly, qualifying for the playoffs, we get into the first round against the Classics, and it's all about playing like a Dick and bringing Dick Hockey to the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena. The Renegades of Puck Hockey Club, better known as 4 Loco Dick Hockey, went out there and won 3-2 in overtime. TJ Nielsen, a shorthanded goal in this game. Kyle Woodall, a goal plus a second goal, and that second goal, the first ever overtime game-winning goal in Renegades of Puck Hockey Club playoff history. A 5-on-3 penalty kill in the third that was downright inspiring, and all I could do was sit as a prisoner in the box and witness as my squad went out there and they got the job done. An incredible effort by everybody across the board. A special stick taps to Aaron Froats, who has now defeated every single team in our league. I know that was a big and special one for him. For the Renegades of Puck and Dick Hockey, we move on now to face off against the same Puck Buddies again in the Frozen Four. Round 1 complete. Renegades of Puck with a 3-2 victory over the Classics. An incredible hockey game. The Classics came back and tied it up with the extra attacker with 24 4 seconds left in the game. Renegades of Puck won it about 4.5 minutes into the overtime session. Playoff hockey was incredible. What a bunch of battles, so many penalties in the game, and so much more. Stick taps, love, and respect to every one of the Dick Dicks that took the ice tonight and played their hearts out. It sure was great being a part of that. Now we move on and we face off against the Puck Buddies coming up in the Frozen Four in round 2, and we have never beaten them in the playoffs. That's a rematch from last year's Frozen Four, so we are very much looking forward to facing off against them. That's going to do it. I am apparently the captain of Dick Dicks Hockey and your host, Crazy Charlie Saunier. We sure do appreciate you. We sure do appreciate your time, and we sure do appreciate your viewership. Stick taps, love, and respect.